What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Man, this for all of y'all who you on your grind, you working, you pushing, but sometimes you feel like you lose your edge. Sometimes you feel like, you don't have as much motivation or as much hunger and determination as you used to have or that you need to have. And a lot of times people can't explain why. They don't even realize, they know that it's not there, but they don't even realize why it's not there. And they, more importantly, don't know what to do to get it back. Let me give y'all a couple of little tips. Here's the deal. The first thing that you got to understand that in any field that you are in, there are multiple people that are in that same field, and they are all jockeying for position. They're vying and pushing for spots that are high up in the ranking. They trying to be number one. They trying to be top five. They're trying to forge their way. And you should have that same mentality, and you probably did at one point in time in your life and maybe in your early days. People always have this thing where they say, well, people are always the most hungry and determined when they first start out. And that's true in a lot of cases, because sometimes when you're first starting out to do something, um, you're hungry. It's pressure because you're trying to reach a goal. Rent might be on the line, food might be on the line, babies need clothes and things of that nature. So you feel a certain pressure that makes you and drives you to the mindset of losing not being an option. I can't lose. I got to get it. Mixed in initially with a certain love that you have for whatever the field is that you're in. You have a certain love, like, man, I love doing this and I'm striving to be the best at it. But what happens is, as you start to get pretty good at it, as you start to become accomplished in it, meaning that, okay, now people know you, now you're doing your thing, you popping, you're making a little money, you're established in a financial way as well, and you reach a point where you go, you start to relax because you no longer are under the pressure, the weight, the gravity of life is not coming down on you as hard. So you feel like, now I can kind of take the time out to chill a little bit. But that's a mistake. You should always be locked in to be and maintain the level that you were striving to be on when you first started out. Now I know some of y'all may be, man, it's hard though, man. Once you've been doing this for so long, you get tired, and you just don't feel the passion of it. Well, here's what you got to do. You have to create points of motivation. You have to trick yourself. You have to fool your own mind and create things that motivate you. You have to exaggerate reasons and things of that nature to make you say, this is why. But also, there's reality in a lot of the reasons as well, because it's not always an exaggeration. If you have a spot, no matter what that spot is, no matter what position you are, if you are anything other than number one, you should always be determined to get there. But whatever your spot is, you got to be determined to keep it at the very least. And when you think like that, everybody becomes the competition. And I don't mean everybody becomes the competition in a hateful way, because I'm on record, just like I know of other people who are on record of basically saying that their biggest competition is themselves. Um, and I do stand on that. I compete with myself harder than I compete with anybody else these days. But here's the little catch to it. I'm aware of everybody else. I'm aware. I know that they out there. I know that there are people who are aware of me, and there are people who are not aware of me. Nevertheless, those, whether they know me or they don't, they're coming because they're in that position that I was once in, that you was once in, that hungry state, and you want to get to that point. They want to get to that point, so you have to be in competition with everybody, the known and the unknown, men, women, babies, everybody is a threat. And when you take that approach, then you always, your sword stays sharp. And that's the key. You keep your sword sharp. And I know, like I say, complacency can kick in. It's easy for human nature to make you kind of lose that edge, especially once you start to accomplish some things, like I said earlier. But um, you never want to have that feeling of drop off, because the second you start to act like that, or get too deep into that, that's when drop off can occur. So you view everything as a threat. And like I said, not from an evil or malicious standpoint, but from a competitive standpoint. Nothing wrong with righteous competition, and nothing wrong with setting a standard for yourself that you impose on yourself and force yourself to live up to. That's one of the ways. That's a few of the ways that you keep your edge. That's you have to have it in your mind, like people are saying you fell off, even if they ain't. But there may be some that is. So whatever it is that you do, remind yourself of how passionate and desperate you was when you first started. If you could take yourself back mentally to that place, nobody ever gave you nothing, then you should be all right. All right, man, it's your big brother K-Rino. Y'all make sure y'all tune into the latest episode of the Underground Dialogue podcast right here on YouTube. Y'all subscribe to both channels, including the Legends 34 Sports Podcast as well. And I'll catch y'all later on. Peace.